Alright guys, I'm super excited to make today's video because this is the only video on the internet showing you what optional parts was offered for the 350Z, same as Z33. I found this very interesting, and I found a lot of very interesting stuff about the optional parts, and as promised, I'm wanting to share with you guys. So without further ado, let's have a look what parts Nissan offered for the 350Z. So as you guys can see, the first optional part is sport suspension. As you guys can see on this photo, it's built-in suspension that was specifically made for the 350Z. Damping force has been dramatically increased. According to Nissan, it's been improved by like 20%, and it's stiffer, it's better in high-speed corners and all that kind of stuff. And they even had a graph how the suspension perform in racing situations, and this is paired with the sports tire, which you can see down at the bottom. And overall, this suspension option, it's not cheap, it's quite expensive. It is 175,000 yen, which is like, in today's money, it's roughly 1,700 US dollar roughly. And personally, I have seen this optional part for sale, like secondhand. Very rare. I have only came across this once, and that's it. I don't think many people took this option at that time, because keep in mind the Nismo one have the Nismo suspension as well. So it's hard to say whether Bilston did a better job or Nismo did a better job when it comes to the suspension setup. But anyway, this is the first one, and let's move on to the second one. Now you can see the second one is wheels, of course, wheels. Suspension, wheels and tires, right? The big three. Forged wheels. Now with the wheel, this is like the track edition wheel. I know some of the Nismo V1 edition, like early Nismo, came with this wheel as well. And later on, Nissan introduced that the big 5-spoke 18-inch and 19-inch setup. I know that's the V2 Nismo wheel. Personally, I am a big fan of this wheel because purely for the fact that it looks like TE37, right? And it is extremely light. It's like, according to Nissan, heaps of unnecessary weight has been removed. Each wheel is 15 kg. It is 30% lighter over the normal 18-inch cast aluminum wheel. It was a very expensive option back then, 290,000 yen. That's like close to 3,000 US dollar in today's money. And pairing with these forged wheels is the forged lug nuts. You can see right at the bottom right, it's the key little lock nut, so people can't steal your nice. Very nice, very cool. And then very interesting, earthing system. If you guys are my subscriber, you probably have seen my grounding kit video for my G35 or my V35 Skyline. In that video, I mentioned this was an optional part on the 350Z as well. It helps with all the sensors, the voltage reading and stuff like that. According to Nissan, right, they are claiming that this will give you a bit more power, but maybe 1 horsepower, 2 more horsepower, I don't know. However, this grounding kit did help me a huge amount. If you guys want to find out more about that, go watch my other video after this video. And then came to the really cool part, the exhaust. I know the 350Z have the Nismo exhaust. You guys may be thinking, how come the optional parts did not mention anything about Nismo? Because Nismo is at that time is a kind of like the son company of Nissan, right? Same as Otec and stuff like that. Nismo parts are actually in another category. It's not shown in this book. I know Nismo made a very similar looking exhaust for the 350Z. This one, in my opinion, is just as cool if not better, because this exhaust is made out of titanium. I have only seen this exhaust for sale once, the titanium one. You guys might have said, oh yeah, I have an exhaust that look exactly the same, have the Z logo on the muffler part, but yours is not titanium. That was another option, which is a stainless steel. As you can see, it was a 89,000 yen option, which is a lot cheaper than the titanium one. And you can see there's a little graph showing the titanium muffler, the stainless steel and the normal muffler. Titanium is very light. According to Nissan, approximately shaved 10 kg of the muffler alone. That is crazy. And now there are some exterior optional parts. For example, the little side marker, which is pretty cool. Instead of being orange, it's white. Oh, that's right, the front little carbon damper. The Nissan call it the front air damper finisher. Not too expensive, $200 something. Very detailed, small stuff. And then it's the mud guard. I think that's a pretty well-known kind of option. I think a lot of Z had that option. So not gonna really go into the details. Other than that, it's like 300 bucks from Nissan, which is pretty cheap. And then the exterior, surprisingly, that's it for the Nissan Z. One of the reasons being, you know, the NISSAN have a lot of good exterior parts for the Z, so maybe that's why from Nissan they didn't offer any more optional parts for it. And now the interior, you can see from this photo, very interesting looking steering wheel, right? I'll get to that in a second. The center console side piece have this padded like leather looking stuff. They call it knee pads. It's kind of like if you're driving it hard, I guess, you know, being a luxury sports car, Nissan wants your knee to go against something like nice and padded. Very expensive option, $300 something. Pretty much just a comforting mode. Some different floor mats, different design. You guys can see 3 dots and a Z, or the normal Z logo floor mats. And then it's the Momo steering wheel. This is a cool part. I love the look of them. And also not cheap, $600 something. And then is the kick plate, kick panel. Aluminum, have the Z logo on there. I do know there is a Nismo one as well, which I might do all the Nismo optional part in another video. Very cool, $200. I think quite a few Z have that, I have seen. And then also some pockets and backpack, the pockets and add-on stuff, storage places for your Z, quite cheap, $80 and $70 something. Haven't seen a lot of people got this optional part from Nissan though. And then onto the next page, which I don't think a lot of people have this optional part. A lot of cameras and radar helping you to park and stuff like that, which is very cool, but I just haven't seen many people actually spend money and got this optional part. Maybe because it's not really worth it. It's definitely very expensive, over $1,000 for all the cameras and screen setup and everything. Maybe that's why people didn't really got this optional part. Then moving on to the next one. That's right, the mirror. There was another option, which is tilted mirror. When you put your car in reverse, your mirror will actually tilt downwards, so you can see the gutter, so you don't scrape your nice raised wheel, right? So yeah, also a better alarm system, which is 35,000 yen, $350, and the Japanese ETC system, which it's no use for us, it's for their highway system and stuff like that. And now is the heated mirror. Apparently with the heated mirror, there wasn't a separate button for it. You just turn on your demister for the front windscreen and that will enable the heated mirror. So yeah, go try it out and have a look if your 350Z have that optional part. And also another thing is very cool, footwell lamp. Never seen one 350Z have this optional part. Go check yours out. Footwell lamp, really cool. $130. Again, I wish my car have that option, but it's only a light, right? I can easily add it later on. And now into the boot. Again, carpets, better looking carpets, luggage space, luggage, holding the luggage, the bagging stuff, and yeah. And then again, more lighting. Seems like this time the lighting is coming from the seat. Pretty cool. Not cheap though, $190. Just minus small stuff, trying to make the Z feel more luxury. Functional parts, very interesting stuff. Sports horn. Now I have seen sports horn for sale for like $50, the second-hand ones. Don't really know how they sound like. I know they are direct fit on the 350s, on the G35, and I think the hertz is slightly different. I think maybe this one is a high pitch one, it's like 650 hertz. Standard one is 500 hertz or 400 hertz or something like that. Pretty cool. They're painted silver with the Z logo on there. And then next one is door edge molding. I think that is to protect your door when you're opening and closing the door and stuff like that. Next thing, a NISSAN air filter. Now this is a NISSAN part, almost $100 for air filter. I don't know. They claim that it's 30% more airflow than the normal one. I mean, at that point you can just buy a K&N one, right? And next one is license plate bolt. And yeah, no use for us because I know the US and New Zealand number plate size is slightly different. Mesh screen, which is on the rear window, a rear side glass, so total 3 glasses. I think the mesh is to heat up the glass faster so you don't fog up. And then there are some other paint stuff like body coating system, and wiper blade and stuff like that. And there are even children's seat for your kids. Pretty cool. And then next thing is the navigation system. Pretty outdated nowadays, so not really gonna go into it. But back then, very expensive, very expensive, close to $4,000 for this optional part. But you know, maybe back then, being a successful, you know, Japanese businessman, they can sit in the traffic and then watch TV and stuff. And multiple MD auto changer, Kenwood, good brand, DVD and different stuff like that. So yeah, basically these are all the optional part that was offered to your base model 350Z. Now this is only a fraction of the optional part that was offered for the 350Z. There are a bunch of NISSAN parts I haven't even got into. There were 380RS, which is another whole crazy different story. There were S1 block, S1 cylinder head, crazy stuff. Let me know if you guys like this video. I feel like the 350Z G35 has been very underrated, and they're being hated for no reason. Well, there is a reason, because it's what kind of people drive these cars, and because those, you know, takeovers and stuff like that. But really these cars deserves a lot more love, and I have not seen people really aware of any of these parts, which I thought it was super cool, because you know, back then the 350Z, the Z33 was Nissan's race car. Then you know, they were using the 350Z as the GT500 and GT300, and yeah, very cool stuff. So yeah, please leave a like if you like this kind of video. Again, I haven't gone into G35, the V35, a bunch of parts as well. Basically, that'll be it for this video. Leave a like, put your question down in the comment section below, and without further ado, I will see you guys in the next video.